Looking at Soul of Darkness, you could be forgiven for thinking you were looking at Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Visually speaking, the game has many similarities to the fabled Konami platformer, from plodding walks to after images while you do your jumps. It appears to hold a lot in common with the post-Dracula X Chronicles Castlevania games. However, this isn't necessarily the case. Its key lacking feature is exploration. If you've played any Castlevania game after Symphony of the Night, you'll be aware that most of the game is about exploring. It's about going to different areas and coming back to previous ones, gated off branching pathways which would later inspire the likes of Dark Souls. This isn't the case here. In Soul of Darkness you have a collection of linear levels. There are some branching sections which lead to treasure rooms, but that's about it. You have individual levels that mostly look the same, with a very small variety of enemies, and that's about it. This isn't necessarily bad. It's a game that costs £5 on the Nintendo eShop. It's hardly breaking the bank. However, it feels like what they had in mind was more than what they ended up with. The combat is fantastically slick, fast-paced. This seems to be the one area where they've one-upped Konami and their classic games. Although there are only 2 weapons to choose from, they work quite nicely mechanically, as do the various transformations, which all hold their own role within puzzle platforming sections. The few bosses there are alright, if somewhat predictable. They rely on 1 or 2 patterns that are easily gotten around, which is nothing when compared to Symphony of the Night's epic scale. In short, it will tide you over for a day. It isn't really anything to write home about. Give it a quick look if you need your fix, but it ain't no Shantae, and it definitely is not a Castlevania.